The parable teaches us not to be quick with our judgments, rather we must be patient. Dear brothers and sisters, today's Gospel is taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 13, verses 24 to 30. In this passage, we find Jesus narrating the parable of weeds among the wheat. In the parable, Jesus compares the kingdom of God to a man who sees good seeds in his field. But the tragedy takes place when his enemy comes and sows weed, or the darnel as some translations mention, among the wheat. To understand the parable, it is necessary to understand the weed or the darnel here. What is this darnel? Matthew uses Greek word zizanion to describe it. The Hebrew word for it is zunim. In the early stages of growth, both wheat and zunim resemble so closely that the people find it difficult to distinguish from each other. Only when the ears of corn are seen and they can be distinguished. Even then, the problem is not solved. The farmer cannot rush to pluck out the darnel from his field because the roots of both plants are so intertwined that it becomes extremely difficult to separate them without plucking off both. Hence, both are left to grow together until the time of harvest. But everything was not out of hand. There is one solution to separate the wheat from the weed, and that was at the time of harvest when both are gathered together and then they can be separated. The wheat is collected in the barn, whereas the weed is thrown in the furnace. This parable has important lessons to teach. The first lesson the parable teaches us is that we need to be awake. Verse 25 says, "While men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away." We are called to be vigilant because the enemy is seeking and waiting to destroy the good seed. In the previous passage, that is Matthew chapter 13 verse 1 to 9, we hear Jesus narrating the parable of the sower. The seed of the word of God is sown in our hearts, which is the good soil to bear fruits in 100 or 60 or 30 fold. And now it is our duty to protect it from the malignant enemy. Hence we are called to be watchful. 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." Secondly, the parable teaches us not to be quick with our judgments, rather we must be patient. If the reapers had gone ahead with plucking the weed, then there would have been a great loss to the master. On the other hand, master's quick yet future-oriented thinking prevents this from happening. The master was patient, and this paid him well at the end. Thirdly, it teaches us that the only person with the right to judge is God. It is God alone who can discern the good and the bad, and He alone can see our past, present, and future. He is the only just judge. As we meditate on this passage, let us pray that we may possess the right discernment which we may use in our day-to-day living to lead a holy life.